Hi, everyone. About a minute on the solar silliness at the New York Times. And there's no better way to start this short piece here but by quoting H.L. Mencken. You may remember Mencken. He was from Baltimore, famously cranky journalist. This is about a century ago. He wrote this. He said, "There is always a well-known solution to every human problem, neat, plausible, and wrong." Well, he could have been talking about solar energy. I doubt he was back then, but nevertheless, it applies to this hype around solar energy that we're seeing lately, and in particular in the pages of the New York Times. Before I get to that, if you don't know me, my name is Robert Bryce. I've been speaking about energy and power for more than 30 years. I give you the numbers and the facts, not the spin about energy and power. Okay, so back to the hype around solar energy. It's been going on for decades. I remember back in 1978, Jimmy Carter said we had to switch to solar because, why? Because of what he said was, quote, was the inevitable shortages of fossil fuels. I think it was a year later that Ralph Nader said, well, within a few years, everything's going to be solar. So we've heard this hype about solar for a very long time. And before I go further, I have solar panels on the roof of my house. We have over 8 kilowatts of solar on the roof of our house here in Austin. Why? Well, we got 3 different subsidies to put them on. So of course, I'm opposed to energy subsidies unless I'm getting them. So I know something about the economics of solar energy. So back to this article that was in the New York Times last month. It was written by David Wallace Wells, and it's this long piece where he says, oh, now solar is getting so cheap, and this is everything's going to change now. So here's the nut graph from David Wallace Wells, who is on staff at the New York Times. Quote, the exploding scale and disappearing cost of solar do mean that the energy game will now be played according to some pretty different ground rules. It's just wrong. It's just, there's no change in the ground rules and the energy game. It's always constrained by very obvious things, which are cost, scale, and the laws of thermodynamics. So yes, there are some claims and a lot of claims that solar prices are going down, but in fact, solar energy power purchase agreements are going up in price, not down. And as I pointed out in my piece on Substack, more solar silliness in the New York Times, Level 10 Energy just reported in July that the prices for solar and these power purchase agreements are going up. And in fact, they've doubled since 2020. So the whole premise here that now solar is getting cheaper, there's no apparent evidence of that in terms of the power purchase agreements. There's no discussion of the slave labor issue in China, no discussion of the fact that where solar is being deployed, such as in California and in Germany, prices for customers are going up. So anyway, I could go on, and I do in my latest piece on Substack, more solar silliness in the New York Times. Check it out. You know where to find me. It's on Substack, robertbryce.substack.com. Thanks a lot. See ya.